Welcome to the Roots and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the essence of culture, our experiences, and a healing journey that shapes our growth in family. Through heartfelt stories about marriage, mental health, relationships, and parenting, we create a space where you can find connection, understanding, and inspiration. Join us as we explore the rhythms of life, one story at a time.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode, of the Roots and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the rhythms of life one beat at a time. It's your boy, Vlad the Bull, your number one embrace coach, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host,
Angie, La Cyber Mami.
La Cyber Mami's in the building, the Bull's in the building. You just came back from Florida.
From hot, super hot, mosquito-ridden Florida.
Oh, man, I was in Florida in February, but you're from Florida originally.
Yes,
right?
and I hate it.
Oh,
I hate the weather, Vlad. Oh, my God.
But Florida's home, though.
It's home. The people, amazing. The weather, the bugs, hate it. I'm all bit up. I won't show my legs, but I'm all bit up. It was very hot, very humid. The humidity slaps you as soon as you walk outside. I got out of the airport. It smacked me in the face. Yeah, it was brutal, but I'm happy to be back. The girls are very excited that I'm here. And you know what makes me excited?
What makes you excited?
When people subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Oh, that makes me excited too.
Yes. So hit subscribe, like, share. Subscribe though.
Hit that subscribe button right there. It's going to be right here. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and smash that like button, because it helps us get this content that is beautiful to your ears to more people. That's
yes. But yeah, back to the girls. They were so happy to see me just sharing everything that they did during the week. And of course, Alana's first thing, like, "Oh, mommy, I'm so happy you're here. Did you bring me a surprise?" So I did get the
surprise.
Always. So, work hooked me up. I got them some unicorns from work and little goodies. But yeah, I'm happy to be back.
We're happy you're back too, sis. We missed you over here, man. In Massachusetts is not the same without the La Cyber Mami.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm sure Wallace feels the same way.
Oh yeah. And he keeps the girls busy, so he had a busy week. So yeah.
So Angie, what are we talking about today? What are we talking about?
So we decided today to talk about work-life balance. Whatever that work looks like, and then balancing it with your day-to-day routines at home, with your family, with your friends.
Okay, so tell the audience a little bit about what you do currently. What is I hate asking people, what do you do for work? Because not everybody likes their job. Let's keep it a stack. I think a lot of people disengage with work. So what are you into that you're getting paid for? And how long have you been doing that?
So I've been at my company 10 years. I just celebrated 10 years earlier this month. So I work for...
Wait, time out. That was a long one.
10 years? So I've been there 10 years. I work for a huge tech company.
Okay.
And I work in training, so corporate training for customers for our products.
Cool.
And I wouldn't say that I love what I do, but I like the company. I like the culture. So it's what keeps me around. But I'm constantly learning new things. Right now, AI is huge. So we're going through a whole bunch of AI training. So yeah, that's like the biggest focus for this year. But that's why I was in Florida. So at my job, we have employee resource groups, and I'm one of the co-chairs of our Latina group. So our Latina and Hispanic group. So we were planning fiscal 26. So our fiscal year starts in October. So we were planning everything from October till next September.
Wow.
While we were down there, yeah.
So how long have you been part of the ERG group? Or do you lead it?
I do lead it. Okay. So since its inception, so 4 years. It'll be 4 years.
4 years. Now, what kind of motivation does a company have to create an ERG, like an affinity group? Is like, and for the audience who doesn't know what an ERG may be, what that group is, like, what is that?
So it's an employee resource groups, and where I work, we have 10. So they're either cultural based. It could be, we have one for working parents or caregivers. So if you're caring for your parents or children or anyone in between, we have one for cancer support. So people that have cancer or they're caregiving someone with cancer, to give them resources and support in that. And we also have one for like rising professionals. So if someone's just starting out in their career, like give them like mentorship, advice. We have one for vets. So for veterans, we have one for Pride for LGBTQ plus and allies. Yeah, so a lot of different ones. And that just keeps employees engaged. And research shows that the most engaged employees are ones that belong to employee resource groups. And my organization, we strive to have everyone belong to two. So one that you identify with, like that's your community, and then one that you're an ally to, so you can learn and support your coworkers that are part of that organization.
I really like that. I had no idea that it was. I mean, it's all voluntary, right?
Yeah.
So, but I had no idea though. That's actually a great strategy to have people have to be a part of a group that they both belong to and that they can be an ally to, because it promotes community and belonging and helps you learn how to promote that, right?
Oh, and I forgot, we also have one for disabilities and their allies. So that also encompasses like mental health. So those that, are struggling, or those that have like ADHD or autisms, like we have employees that are autistic. So they are also part of that. So yeah, we have a variety. There's a whole bunch of different groups.
I'm going to tell you, if I ever return to the workplace, I would want to work where you work.
Yes.
Because it sounds
We're
like
always
a great place to
hiring,
be.
but I'm not saying where I work at. Hit me up and I'll privately tell you. Because they're not sponsoring this, so.
So La Sabbath Mommy is going to get you the absolute best referral, but you got to hit it on the low because,
Yes, I need to see your resume first before I start referring you all willy-nilly.
Yeah, because we ain't trying to have nobody crazy walk up in your doors
Facts.
and giving you, blowing up your spot.
Nah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you've worked there, remind the audience, how
10
many?
years.
10 years, a decade. So did you hit a decade yet, or are you working on those 10 years?
No, I hit it July 6th or 7th.
Ooh, let's do another one. That was the right one this time.
Yay.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I mean, obviously we talk a lot about work and careers and things that we're into. So for me, my career started in the health and wellness space, right? And so I was working as a health and wellness coach at Jenny Craig. That's right, Jenny Craig.
wow.
It's better than just a Yo Mama joke. Jenny Craig is a real thing. They have real wellness centers. They do not sponsor this podcast. They will not sponsor this podcast. If you want to, then go and holla at me. But holla at us, Roots and Rhythm. But did that for a year. Then I ended up working with going into youth work, or as I like to call, youth advocacy.
Yes.
So I ended up doing that as a health and wellness coordinator. Things didn't really work out where I was, and I ended up going back to my hometown as a team program director, worked there for about a year and a half, and about maybe 4 months into my time there, I got a card from the Mass State Police asking me to
Heavy
participate.
recruiting.
Heavy recruiting. Now, here's the thing, though. I took the exam in 2013, and I got and this is 2016 now.
Okay.
So I got it in 2013. I took the exam. My boy Dave was like, "Yo, bro, just put in for that. You never know what's gonna happen." I'm like, "Bro, I ain't trying to be a cop," but either way, I scored a 99 or 98.6. Never got a call back. So I'm like, all right, I guess it wasn't meant to be. And then 3 years later, they're saying, "Hey, do you want to be a trooper?" I was like, "Oh, I kind of forgot about you guys, but all right." So I worked for this. So I went to the academy later that year in 2017 in August. Graduated in January. Worked with the state police for 6 years until I got injured. So that's why when you were talking about that affinity group for people with disabilities, I wouldn't classify myself as somebody with a disability. But as it pertains to my job, I wasn't able to do it anymore because of my back. So I retired in December of 2023. And since then, we've been working on this journey towards activating people's potential, right? And getting people to embrace their trauma and pain. I feel like it's something I've always been called to do. I've been talking about speaking for like over a decade,
Right.
but I never actually got to do that. So if you or your organization are looking for a dynamic, high-impact speaker who can teach you about leadership and how your story can help you drive your leadership to new heights, holla at your boy, VladLusant.com. Just had to put that right there. But you know what it is.
Sponsored. That one is sponsored.
This is sponsored by the VJF Empowerment Group. That's what we're working on right now. But it's been fun. So I think it's great, though, because a common ground that we have as friends and as parents is that we're leaders.
Yes.
We are type A, leading type people, right? You're not going to have me not lead you. Just let me lead you just a little bit. But I also want to be led sometimes. I need to work.
Yeah. You have to do both.
Yeah.
You have to be teachable.
Yeah. Now, no matter what you do, right, Angie, whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's entrepreneurship, whatever it is, whatever your work structure looks like, there has to be a balance if it's going to be sustainable, right? Which brings us to the center of our conversation today about work-life balance. Now, I can recall a time where such a thing was not a thing, and it didn't matter because I was like 20, something. Okay. And for those of you who have not hit the faded 30 yet, have fun. Have fun. Because your body can do things that it won't be able to do in 30. You don't think that, right? Because like Angie, 20 and 30, that sounds young for some folks, but like the physiological differences are different. So, but yeah, it was not abnormal for me to be like getting up at 4 o'clock like I do now, but getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to work out, planning a bodybuilding show, going to school, going to work, and then doing it time and time again. There was no work-life balance. And
because you were trying to build, you're in that hustle mentality.
Hustle. And hustle culture is really taking over, right? You got everybody now trying to get them a side hustle, trying to get, like they're trying to do so many different things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you need to be a hustler if you have something that you believe in. But the problem is I feel like a lot of people are engaging in the hustle culture just to engage in it, not to actually hustle to a destination. So I wonder if you see any of that at your job, because there are hustles everywhere. There are hustles in the corporate space. There are hustles in retail. There are hustles in law enforcement. So have you seen any of that in your job? How do you navigate? Have you seen that, first of all?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see it all the time. People that stay late, work late, they're trying to move up the corporate ladder.
Right.
And it's usually people with no kids.
Ooh.
You know, and it's because they have the freedom, the more time to do that, because I can try to hustle and climb the corporate ladder, but I think everything has a time and a season. It's not my season to be climbing ladders right now, because I leave work at work. And anyone at my job that watches this will tell you I have 0 work things on my phone. If work zero, I don't communicate.
You don't have the email on your phone that you're checking periodically?
Nope, I don't have Teams. I don't have Slack. I don't have anything on my phone, because when I'm done with work, I'm done with work. And it's because I have to be done with work. I can't be trying to answer emails and talking to customers when I go pick up the girls from daycare.
Well, why not?
Because then I'm not giving them my attention.
So? Why is that important for you? I'm not.
I'm like, what do you mean, Vlad? Because the girls are my priority at that time. Like, again, everything has a time and a place, right? I work when the girls are at school and at camp at this time. And then when they're home, they're home. We're home together. We're doing activities with them. We're hanging out with them. We're cooking. We're, taking a bath, going to bed, whatever. And if I do need to do anything, it's after they go to bed. Like if I have a project or anything, I'll log back on. But I don't want work to be disrupting me. And again, I do have that type of personality with work. Like I can't have tasks lingering. So if I hear the phone or I see an email, I'm going to want to answer it. But I don't want to, because that's not my work time. This is my family time. And there'll be a point where the girls are older and they'll be more self-sufficient where I could strive to do that. But I had to do that hustling in my 20s and early 30s before I had the girls in order to be in this spot where I'm okay taking that time to be with them,
Do you feel like there are people who are at that point that you are, where they don't have to work as much, they don't have to climb as much? They've climbed 10 stories of corporate ladders or work-related ladders, right? And they just notoriously work all the time. Like that person that is always working. You're either calling you from work, going to work, coming back from work. You don't even know if they live at their house anymore. Why do you think that is?
They're probably trying to fill something.
Ooh, go there.
Go there. Like what is missing that you feel like you're going to get it from work? Because at the end of the day, unless you work for yourself, these people replace you immediately. You can't give more to a corporation than you do your family. You
can't give more to a corporation than you do your family.
Yes.
But what about the people who will tell you, I'm hustling for my family. I'm hustling so they can have a chance. I'm climbing the corporate ladder now so that my family can be better off later. What do you say to those people?
Well, I think there's levels, right? And again, I'm not negating anyone that's, living below the poverty line that has to work.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously they have to be able to provide basic necessities at that point. But anyone that works in corporate and makes over, I don't even know a number, but you know what I mean? Like they're already like in a real career, not a job. They're in a career. I'm sure your kids would rather have you than have Nikes or whatever it is that you're buying them.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. The caveat, obviously, there are people who have to make ends meet. whether they want to or not. And I mean, we live in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Or in the greater Boston area, I should say. And I saw an article the other day that said the median home prices,
$1 million. I saw the same article, Vlad. Wild.
Dude, that's median. Median. That's not even like... That's crazy, man.
So I get it. You know, like there are some families that they do have to work like overtime, or they can't do away with overtime. Like there's no way for them not to do overtime because they have all these things to pay for. But I feel like there's certain things that you can cut sometimes in order to be able to spend that time, because you can't get time back. You can always make more money.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's why I say seasons. Like, excuse me, obviously now I'm not trying to climb anything, like okay where I'm at for the season in my life, you know, the kids are little, but eventually like I'm gonna have more time, and then what am I gonna do, be complacent? Absolutely not.
Right.
Like I'm gaining the skills that I need now for the future in order to be able to climb when I'm ready to do that.
That's a really good mindset to have. When I was working out this morning, Fearless Motivation, have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So Fearless Motivation, they make motivational tracks for people while they're working out, while they're in the gym, whatever. I actually recorded a few tracks for them. I got to show you later. And one of the things that really sat with me today, it was that if you're chasing the money, if you're always chasing the money's always going to run faster than you. And I was like, dang, that's deep. And he said, if what you're chasing is fulfillment, let the money chase you. If you know what your purpose and your goals are, as a person, not as a worker, not as an employee, but if you know what you bring to this world in a way that nobody else can, and you chase that with your time and your energy, not the position, not the promotion, not the dollar figure, not the salary, not the things, but if you chase the purpose, the mission that you've been given, which takes time, and we're going to talk a little bit about self-development in a little bit, the money's going to chase you. And I've realized that too, because look, anybody who's listening to this who's in law enforcement, shout out to all of my law enforcement and my first responders. Shout out to the 83rd RTT. If you know, you know. We live in a hustle culture. I didn't realize that about the state police as much. I didn't realize about law enforcement at all. I thought you just always working weird hours or whatever, but I didn't realize that people were actively trying to compete with each other when it came to how much money you make. And it got really old quick.
Yeah.
Like when I graduated, I was so excited to work details. I'd be taking pictures on my Snapchat, like, look at my cruiser with that. You can't see the license plate, but look at my cruiser, and I'm working in details, money time, it's grind time. I like these checks. But then after a while, I'm like, yo, this is whack, because I'm making all this money. And when I got hurt the first time and I didn't have that detail money, I realized just how much I relied on it. And I didn't want to be like that anymore. I didn't want to rely on overtime hustle culture in order for me to make ends meet. So that's when I realized I had to live beneath my means. We talked about that in the finance episode. But yo, dudes are still out there just working to work, not working to grind, not working to save for something. They're just working to save. I worked with this dude, right? And he was like, hey, yo, Luson, when I get $100K in the bank, I'm going to buy me a house.
Bobble, bobble, bobble.
Bobble, bobble, bobble. And I'm like, okay, well, you could buy a house right now. You don't need $100K. Now, you might want to put more down. That's what's up. But you work so much all the time. If a house is what you need, what do you need the house for? Yeah. Do you need the house to get to have a family? Do you need the house to have your own space? Do you need a house to feel free? Like, what is it that you're accumulating for?
Yeah, and I'm not anti-hustle. Like, please hustle, but you can't hustle your whole life. You know, like that's how people burn out. You know what I mean?
Don't say that. Don't say that to the culture, because the culture's not ready to hear that I can't hustle for my whole life. You know, Ace Hood will be mad at you. Young Jeezy will be mad at you.
Think about it like a car. And I say car because I'm still needing my car to come back from the shop. So imagine a car, and the car goes 100 miles an hour. You can't go 100 miles an hour in that car forever. Eventually, the engine's going to go out. It's going to run out of gas. You know, you have to like slow down. Obviously, hustle, do like you said, have a goal, hustle, do the goal, rest, hustle. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go on forever. And that's what I mean about work-life balance. You know, obviously, you're going to work. you're going to rest. There's going to be a balance, but you can't do one or the other 100%. If that makes sense.
I love analogies. I love a good analogy.
You're going to be resting, you lazy. You work too much, you're going to burn out. Like, that's why it needs a balance.
This is this is so good. This is so good. I'm so happy that we're talking about this because, as always, your girl, that's Cyber Mom, and your boy, Vlad the Bull. We're here to educate. We're here to inspire and lift and give you some motivation and some things to think about. But we're also here to convict, y'all. Like, we're not doing our job if something we say doesn't convict you. So,
and it convicts us.
Yes.
Like, there's stuff Vlad says, I'm like, oh my God. And vice versa.
Yeah, there's some things I'm like, oh, dude. Like, when you talking about busting out that budget, I was like,
yeah.
You can't go do that.
Well, when you tell, and I know we're not talking finances today, but you need to tell your money where to go before you wonder where it went.
Oh.
And I don't know where I heard that, but that's legit.
Oh, wait. Oh, one more time.
So you have to budget so you can tell your money where to go so you don't have to wonder where it went.
Oh, man. I got to take that. That is awesome.
Yes.
Man. But
shout
it's
out to whoever says it.
Yeah, whoever said that. Thank you. Listen, if you're listening and you know who said that, please put it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know because I heard it somewhere and I love it.
Yes, yeah. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think about that quote because, I mean, listen, we live in a high, that's why we have one of the greatest economies in the world. It's because we consume a lot. Yep. And like I told you, in a previous episode, I worked with another guy, and I always have these like examples of archetypes, things that stuck out, people that stuck out in my mind. I was like, okay, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Because for me, and if you're going to motivate me to do something, I have to see why. I have to see the benefit. I have to see exactly what the end game is. Yep. I don't just tell me to hustle because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's stupid. Because when you're a kid, you're just told what to do and you don't ask no questions. Like I had enough of that. This guy had like 3 jet skis, a Raptor, a Corvette, all this stuff. And I'm just like, why? Right? I had a classmate of mine that had, when we went to the airport, just bought like a brand new Lexus SUV. Like a mama, like something that you probably would love if you got for free.
Yeah.
For the girls, right? And here's a kicker. He didn't have no kids. He didn't have no wife. And he had bought like a house, this big old house, just to be empty, and a big old car.
Like preparing for it though? Like, was he dating? Like, did he want to get married? Because that is like a waste.
He had some things to learn in the social skills department. I think he actually did end up getting married. So I'm very happy for him. But to me, it just didn't make sense at the time.
Yeah.
Like for me, I had a little Mazda CX-5, and I love that car. But it suited our needs. It was just like, it was just me and Jules and our dog, you know? So, but going back to the work-life balance thing, I got to a point where I was getting disgruntled and downright discouraged by it, and I just stopped doing it. I realized that I could actually make more money if I had more time. And so how could I do something that pays me more money, that allows me to have extra money, but in making investments and everything, but that also allows me to have more time? And so instead of working hour for hour details, like overtime was hour for hour. If you're working 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. You have to work for 8 hours. That's clock to clock. Some details you could work from like 4 to 2, or like if it's like an 8-hour detail and it starts at noon, if you work from noon to 4:05, then you're getting paid for those 8 hours, right? So that made sense to me. So I started doing those, but then that's how I got into voice work, because I'm like, okay, skills inventory. Got a good voice. I know I can talk. I can learn the skills of voice acting. I can learn how to read copy. And I don't have to do a lot of work. You know, one time I was working with a company for my first national commercial. And it was the first time that I got paid, like, you know, I think it was like $2,000 that I got paid for this. It was a microband commercial. And it only took me like an hour. And here I am hustling, because hustle culture taught me that I have to grind, hurt, and be beaten in order to advance in life. And I'm like, oh, bro, I just made more money in that 1 hour than I would have made in 40 extra hours of hustling.
Yeah, no, exactly, Vlad. And it's something that you love. It's a natural thing that you have. Like, you weren't out here trying to like 40 hours trying to make your voice do this. It comes natural to you. Right.
You know, we can thank God for that, because puberty hit hard. It hit hard. Yeah, I have to tell you that story. I was coming home from the youth center I used to go to. It was Area 4, and my mom and my brother and my aunt and my grandmother and I would live in the projects on the same street. So literally just cross the street, walk down the street, cross the street. I'm home in 5 minutes. And there were these two girls sitting on their stoop, and they just walked up to me, and I'm in middle school. They're like, "Hey, what grade are you in?" And I was like, 7th. They're like, "Oh, why your voice so deep?" I was like, "I don't know," cracking.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's like, but there are so many people who don't have that work-life balance because they have no idea what their skills are.
Yes.
And they have no idea what their gifts are. And I also want to make a point too, Angie, that I've noticed, a trend that I've noticed. A lot of folks will put any development work into their jobs only. What I mean by that is that they'll only develop skills that are relevant to them climbing the corporate ladder that are going to get them ahead, but they fail to develop their personhood. So I want you to speak a little bit to that. Why is that important when we're talking about the work-life balance? Why is it important for people to also have a balanced approach to personal development?
Because I feel like those skills are transferable, like those soft skills. Those are things that like you have to work on yourself out, like you said, outside of your corporate world, just so you can use those things in your personal life. You can use those in your home life. But yeah, why wouldn't you want to be a more well-rounded person? Because if all your focus is on work, when they let you go, now what do you have? You have all these skills, but nothing like that fulfills you, that makes you a better human. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't just focus, like you said, very niche, like this is what I'm doing for work. What if the company goes away? Then now you have nothing, and now you're upset with nothing to show for it.
Oh, wow. That is a banger right there. Can we say that's a banger? That's a banger. Somebody put banger. This is not
banger
live.
on the chat. Bang,
We'll
bang.
Put banger in the chat if you felt that. That
Pew,
was a
pew.
banger. Okay, because
It was okay.
It is so, no, it was great. It was great because it was something I've noticed with law enforcement. I'm going to look up the statistics somewhere. Just remind me I'm going to look it up. But there's a statistic about law enforcement and their quality of life, police officers after they leave. And you'll have these guys who will work 35 to 40 years on the force, and they'll retire and die within 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And they
may
may
have nothing to live for.
Well, it doesn't even have to do with how old they are. It's they put all of their personhood, their purpose, and their skill sets into this niche role. And yeah, maybe they went golfing on the weekends. Yeah, maybe they cracked a beer once in a while. Yeah, maybe they went on vacation, but they never developed the skills because they never thought about what's going to happen when I leave. And so retirement is something that scares a lot of people because they're like, I got to be home with myself and I don't know what to do. I'm like, if you would have developed some gifts and made some room, if you like to play trumpet, play some trumpet. If you like to, I don't know, if you want to teach yourself how to play the piano, do that. And it doesn't have to be something that necessarily pays you money, but it has to be something that fulfills you, your soul. And I think a lot of people forget about that.
That's very true, Vlad, because me working where I work is the most least interesting thing about me. Is that a thing?
Most
least, the leastest, the bottom. It's not even interesting to me, Like some people that do have those careers, like you said,
right.
As soon as you meet them, it's like, oh, tell me about yourself. Cop. It's like there's so much more to you than like what you do for money. So,
well, what if somebody works in like finance? What if somebody is a stockbroker, investor, and their work surrounds money? It's all about money. If it's all about either helping people make money, managing money.
I mean, if that's your passion, again, it's very hard to meet people that do something that they love, that's like their thing, right? Wallace is one of the people that I know that does that, right? So Wallace is a singer, but it's like that's his whole life. Like he writes songs. He's in the recording academy. His career is singing. He sings all the time at the house. The girls sing because of Wallace. Like it's like sing, 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 song, song, song. We all do songs, right? But that's like also what fills his cup. Is that finance person. Does money fill their cup? You know what I mean? Like, does helping people fill their cup? Because then it's like they're working to help people. Just like the social workers. They didn't get into social work for themselves.
You mean they didn't get into it for the money?
I don't think so.
They
did it to help people. So it's like they have that need. And that's how they, you know what I mean? It's like part of their personality. I don't know. I doubt it.
No.
Not for a house that's $1 million.
Nah. For everybody that's wondering, if you want to go into social work, you're not making no big bucks until you get up there. But even then, you don't want to do that for the money. But go ahead.
No, yeah. It's because it's like they have this innate need to help others, right? So in those situations, then yes, I feel like that's their personality because it's a part of them that they put into the job.
Ooh,
instead of tasks.
Yes. Shout out to my man and one of my coaches early on when I first joined the men's community. His name is Fred Bussey. What up, Fred Bussey? If you're listening, bro, I love you, man. Great dude, great leader. He's a phenomenal entrepreneur. And he used to coach us on Sundays. We used to have a little cohort. And one day I was going on and on about how I was just disengaged with my job. Like I hated my career and you know, there was a lot going on in my mind, and I was trying to figure out what my next move is and what am I supposed to be doing with my life. And he said, you don't go to work to find your purpose. And I think that's why you're confused and you're disgruntled. You're trying to find something in this job when you already have it in yourself. You don't go to job to find your purpose. You bring your purpose to your work. And that changed the game for me.
I like that.
It changed the game.
I like that. So you don't find your purpose at work. You go to job with your purpose.
Because when you know who you are, right, you can bring, like you said, you bring yourself everywhere you go. Like, listen, you know you're going to have Vlad, the embrace coach. You're going to have Vlad who loves people. You're going to have Vlad who's empathetic and likes to talk about things. Like, I'm not like a particularly deep person.
You a certified yapper.
I'm a yapper. I like to talk. So if I go to a job and I can't talk to nobody,
right,
what am I doing it for? You know how many hours I spent in the cruiser talking to myself? Like, just, hey, Vlad, how you doing today? I'm good. All right. Or just talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I got to be able to talk. I got to be able to, you know, dap you up. I got to be working with people. And it's even more stressful, I believe, if you're working many, many hours at a job that you don't like and you still hustling. So at this point, you don't even like what you do and you're spending more time there with no real end game just to do it. Why are we like this?
Yeah.
Why are we like this? Some people have to do it because they got to live. But
again, not forever, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I feel like the need, if you have a need, obviously hustle. If you don't like it, it's not forever. But find something that you do like so you're not just going to work and being miserable. And life is too short for that, I feel like.
I'll tell you a quick story. So there's a guy I worked with. He's actually on that wall. You can't see him. He's right behind my jacket over there, my dress blouse. But I met him before we started the state police, and he was somewhat of a mentor to me when we started. And this guy was always working. Older guy. He's old school trooper. He was on the job I think he's already on the job for like 30 years. His badge number was like 2. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I think it was like 1 or 2 or something like that, low digits. Always working. I worked a couple of details with him. One time I come to a detail, it was me, him, and my boy, and he sees me. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Excuse you? What am I doing here? What are you doing here? If I'm here and you here and we looking at each other, that means we here for the same reason. Probably not, right?" And he's like, "You don't work details." And I was like, "Funny, I'm working one right now. I guess I'm not me. I guess I'm not in my body. Shoot, that'd be a lot easier to do this job if that's the case." And he was sarcastic like that, right? But he was like giving me a hard time about not working deal. I'm like, I don't really care. And that kind of stuck with me because I'm like, why is he so worried about what I'm doing? Like, you here, you happy, you getting paid, smile. Anyway, but this guy, he would work a lot, and I came to find out later he didn't have a family. He had family members, but he didn't have, he wasn't married. Yeah. I think he had a partner, but he wasn't married, didn't have children, but loved his nephews, loved his, but this dude was always working.
Was work like his family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, work was his family. And it was sad. So.
And that happens too. I mean, we do spend a lot of time at work. So there's people at my job that I do consider my family because we talk about stuff, like we hang out, like they have kids, I have kids, like they send my kids stuff, I send their kids stuff. But I wouldn't say that like my job, like the company is my family, because at the end of the day, they'll drop me and guess what?
They'll replace you.
They'll replace me in 2 seconds, Vlad.
Yeah, they'll replace you real quick.
So it's like the people, yes, like you do fall in love with the people, but as a job, a corporation, like I know that I'm expendable. Not me technically. No, but for real. Like they will if they had to,
There's
they would.
only one La Saber Mami.
There's only me.
Do they even know you're La Saber Mami?
Some people at work do.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm,
You let them know. You let them know that you're La Saber Mami because they try to make you expendable.
Right. Hello. Who are you trying to get rid of here? But no. So yeah, so I do have like those close relationships at work, but I know that that's not like, again, the least important thing about me. Like who cares where you work,
So it's true. It's true. And I wish this guy that I'm talking about would have known that. Maybe if we started our podcast, 10 years ago, he probably wouldn't listen to it. But knowing him. But here's the sad part. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was still COVID, and he got into a motorcycle crash because he was on the motorcycle unit, and we came and found out that he had like an aneurysm before he did. Or he had some sort of episode related to his brain. And later we found out, while he was in the hospital, that he had been sick for a while. Like years ago, doctors told him, like, hey, there's something that's forming in your brain that looks like a tumor. Yeah. Maybe we should do something about it. And he said, nah, I'm a trooper, make a hole. I'll get it done later. He never did. Now fast forward to this motorcycle crash. This man is on his deathbed now. And they try to hurry up. Well, he's not on his deathbed like at that time. Like he was doing okay, and they hurried up, did a ceremony for him, gave him the badge, because he was, like I said, I think the longest serving, the oldest trooper on the job, and he had all these pictures of him with dignitaries, him with presidents. He was with Obama, I think. He was with Trump. He was with all these people, but he was always at work, not because he needed to work, but because work was his family, like you said. And he ended up dying before he could even retire, Angie. He died before he could even retire.
And he probably worked so much he didn't take vacation. He probably had all those days or whatever. It's just stored up.
Old school dude. And it broke my heart because, he could be a little sarcastic and his humor was kind of dark, but he was a good guy, and he deserved to retire. He deserved to get the ceremony. Like I retired years before I thought I would, and being there and being given your certificate, being given your retirement badge, like that stuff matters, man. And it just pains me to see that he had so many memories, so much contribution to this body of work, but he didn't even get to retire and really enjoy and celebrate himself because there was no balance. And so a lot of the times we're with companies that we either love or we don't identify with, but we just kind of find ourselves there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And 30 years go by, you retire, and then you're like, damn, what am I about to do?
That's why use your PTO. And you know what PTO stands for, right, Vlad?
Personal time off.
No, prepare the others because I'm gone.
Oh, word. Yo,
taking time, going on vacation, spending time with the family. But prepare the others.
Prepare the others.
I'm out of here. But use your time. I don't know how some companies are, but you use it or lose it at many places. So take the time off. Again, you will be replaced. Now, Vlad, this is interesting because I work for a corporation. So I go in, I go out. No one cares when I'm not there, and I work, blah, blah. But you are self-employed.
Yep.
So how do you balance, working, not working, being with Lido and all that?
I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it. I'm not going to act like I practice everything that I preach. Lately, my passion has been this podcast.
Oh, nice.
So I've been putting a
Same.
lot. Yep. So you see how much work we've been putting in on this podcast. But I'm also working on my speaking business, and it is hard. I'm finding it difficult to balance posting enough, creating enough content, making enough reaches, enough touches to organizations, keeping that momentum going so I can start planning for gigs ahead of time next year, the year after that. Finding time to, and for me, it's probably the executive functioning piece too. When I'm engaged in something, I can't leave it unless I feel done.
Yes.
To a particular point that I'm done with it and I can step away. If I'm in the middle of a project and I'm in the middle of doing an episode or I'm in the middle of writing a proposal, I can't just leave it because I feel like if I leave it, I'm just not going to do it
Yeah,
anymore.
you're going to forget.
So that's what makes it hard. What I don't tell you about entrepreneurship is that you have to make your own schedule. Now, I'm coming from the law enforcement paramilitary world where everything is decided for you. In the academy, they wake you up at 05:30. They put you to bed at 21:30. And it's the same day in, day out until you graduate. When you start working, and this is what my career was for the last 6 years. Dude, if I knew I was working a mid shift, I had everything in my calendar. If I was working when I was working day shift in a unit, everything was decided for me. I got to be out of my door at 0700 hours. I got to be back at, know what I mean? So
I will say, Vlad, you said that you haven't figured it out yet, but I feel like you do have systems. Like you have your checklist that I'm looking at right now. So every day you know what you're doing, your little Post-its where you do rips and stuff and you do that. So it's like, I see that you are actively like, you have your systems. It's just like following through because there is no one reminding you here like, hey, you forgot to do this. You know what I mean? Like at my job, I mean, no one reprimands me because I'm always on top of it because I'm type A. But I do see it like this person forgot this report. So then our manager will come and be like, hey, can you send this or whatever? So it's like there's someone there, but you have to be like the captain of your own ship and do that for yourself.
What do you think scares people away from going into the business for themselves, starting that organization, starting a nonprofit?
I'll tell you what freaks me out, the money piece. Because it's so fluid. Like 1 month you'll make this, the next month you might not. Wow, I made so much money. Then no, I don't. And then also like the health insurance. Like, I mean, I'm grateful that you retired from the state police, but let's say you never went into the police and you just do voice work. Your insurance through the marketplace would be like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I looked into it.
Yeah, because my sister's an entrepreneur. She has a design business. You should check them out. Timeless Oak Design, not sponsored, but sponsored. Yeah. And she does her own thing, and they pay a ridiculous amount of money for their health insurance because they're both entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? So it's like, I tell Wallace all the time, I got this family on my back with our health benefits, so it's like you have to probably make a certain amount of money as an entrepreneur in order to be comfortable, or you're going to be in that hustle mentality because I got to make mortgage and health insurance payment because then I go to the doctor and it's going to be even way more money.
Right.
So.
And I mean, for me, sometimes I wonder if I didn't have the retirement, like if I didn't retire with those benefits, if my mindset would be different, if my systems would, if I'd be following through on my systems a lot more. And so right now I'm actively working because I need that for my family. But right now I need to put it in my mind as if that's not even there.
That's a good idea.
I heard a quote recently and it said, you might be thinking about why. You might be always asked, what is your why? Why are you doing this? But we also need to ask what? What will I suffer from? What will I lose? What is it going to cost me not to follow through on this, even if I don't have to, quote unquote? But what am I going to lose? And for me, bro, I've waited 32 years to be able to do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I remember when you're not in your purpose, when you're not in your purpose and then you do the work and then you find out what that is and you get a sense of what that is, and then you still have to spend 40 hours away from that, every minute that you're not working in what you want to work in is agonizing to your soul. And so something I want to say to the audience too, man, is, listen, a lot of people think that you just have to get up and leave a job, which is what I almost did. You just got to get. I almost did it, and Julie was like,
"You need a plan.
You need to pump your brakes." Sometimes people need plans. You don't need plan Bs all the time. I think you should. Falling forward is better than falling back on something, because when you fall back on something, you might not be necessarily. You might not know how to pick yourself back up.
Right.
But if you're working in this, if you're working, and like you said, nothing's forever. If you're working in a 9 to 5, and you got to have vision. You got to know what you want out of life. And if you don't know, you got to find out, because I see so many people, and I learned this in my family too. Remember we were talking about how my family fumbled the bag?
Yep.
I watched my father work for 40 years, and he's like one of those dudes, retired with all ridiculous amounts of PTO, had to give money back for sick time, all that stuff, you know what I mean? And yeah, He had money, he had pension, he had retirement, but it didn't change his quality of life.
Yeah, and he also didn't go on vacations. Like, he didn't enjoy the money that he was making. And I think that's like my point. If you're in a current hustle mentality culture, take breaks. You don't want to have to crash out, as the kids say, you know,
Hey,
be
I say
overextended.
that.
You do? My nephews do too. Crash out. I'm crashing out. Yeah.
I just learned what it was.
Yeah, so you need breaks. Take breaks. And again, the hustle is not going to be forever. The hustle mentality could be forever. And I'm not saying don't be a hustler, but make sure that you're scheduling some relaxation in that too.
And make sure you're scheduling personal development time.
Personal,
right?
yep.
I tell people, what you spend your time developing is what you are going to sow later. So if you spend your time developing skills related to your job, you're going to be great at your job, but you still might be a crappy husband or wife. If you spend your time developing skills related to your personhood, related to the soft skills, like you said, financial literacy, all of those things can go beyond. You have to start looking at, what am I learning to do? What am I engaging in that is going to be diverse?
Diversify your personal development.
Right. Diversify your personal development like you diversify your stocks. If you're not investing, please do. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why? Like, I don't understand how people don't match their 401ks. You don't have a Roth. You don't have your own. You can open your own retirement account. If you are working full time, you got benefits, and you're not putting money away, I don't know what's wrong with you.
We need another financial episode, Vlad, because we both touched on finances without even trying.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice, but yes.
Yeah, it's not financial advice, but you need, like you said, you need to tell your money what to do and where to go. You need to tell your money how to work, right? You need to be your money's personal trainer, but we're not even talking about that. But that's part of the work. We can't talk about work-life balance without talking about work, without money.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's why most people are driven to do their thing. So
yeah. So what are some tips, Vlad? So for me, I, again, don't have anything work-related on my phone. Nothing at my job is an emergency, which is what I always tell myself, and people that are struggling with that, my friends at work. But yeah, so when I'm off, I'm off. When I'm on, I'm on. Something else is my calendar. I block off time in my calendar during the day to go take a walk. Sometimes, sometimes you get so consumed with something that you're working on that you just be sitting there for hours, and our body needs a stretch. Our body needs for the blood to flow. So every 2 or 3 hours, I take a walk, come back, my mind is refreshed, and I can keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, block off time on my calendar. Don't take, work things outside of work hours. Yeah. And then just try to organize. Like, I do what they say is eat the frog. So I do my harder tasks as soon as I log into work.
Yeah. That's a good,
so I get them out of the way. It's I just tackle those hard things first. So get them out of the way, and then the day kind of flows better instead of me dreading this thing that I have to do for the rest of the day. So yeah, those are my 3 tips.
That's so good. That's so good. I recently saw a poll that said that workers are really only productive about 2 hours out of an 8-hour workday. And if you're not eating the frog, like frog legs, or you just don't like frogs, then you're going to be even less productive, because dread creates procrastination. And so if you're dreading something, you're just going to, intrinsically, we want to be comfortable.
Right.
So those are great tips, sis. I don't really know if I can add as much to those. I know that a big thing for me was setting boundaries, not only with what I do for work, but also with who I engage with from work. And I'm not telling you to be a crab or a hermit, because I was kind of one of those guys. I have people always talking to me like, "Hey, yo, Vlad, what are you doing this weekend? We can get the families together. You can meet my wife." I'm like, "I don't want to meet your wife. I don't want to meet you."
I'm a little like that at work too, though. It's I need to be able to have you in my circle.
Yeah. I was always very selective about who I spent time with outside of work, because I always saw my time outside of work as, this is my time.
Yes.
I never liked spending more time at work or with work than I needed to. And I think part of that is because my mom worked as a nurse, and she was working 12 hours, and I really missed her. It was hard. So I would say set boundaries with what you're doing for work and who you're engaging with from work. Listen, it's nothing wrong with having work friends, but you need to create a sphere of, some of your circles can blend, but when it comes to work, we have a tendency to overconsume in this country.
Yes.
So I like to set boundaries with that. Another thing I do to create a work-life balance, like you said, is schedules for my ADHD folks, executive functioning folks, who struggle in that department. Calendars, physical representations of what the tasks you need to do, and reminders. And sometimes you need to remind yourself to stop working. That's a big one.
Oh, I was going to say too, Vlad, for especially now that the remote work is a thing and you work from home, separating your workstation and like the rest of your house. Because if you see it, then it's like, oh, I can go back there. Oh, then it's like you're constantly reminded of all the things you have to do at work. So I like to close the door to our sunroom if we're not working in there. And now, especially in the summer because it's hot and I ain't going in there. But I like to close the door so it's like, okay, I'm away from work. You know what I mean? And your station is down here in the basement. So it's like you don't come down here if you don't have to, work. You're upstairs with the family. So yeah, have some sort of separation, even if you have to throw a blanket over your desk if it's somewhere where you can't see, or if it's in the middle of the house, just like, so you're not like constantly thinking about it.
I think a great tip too for that, to add to that, is to get a room divider. If you have a studio set up or something, when people get room dividers, or they create those dividers that look like little changing stations. You could put those there.
Nice.
But yeah, huge piece, because everybody's looking to work from home these days. Like I always had my studio in whatever house we lived in the basement somewhere. When we lived in the condo, I had it in the second bedroom, but the second bedroom had a door, so I closed that
Close the door.
I always said, like, I had to teach this to myself when Lito was born, and it was that once I'm done with work, if I work, I make my schedule around when I have to pick up my son. Once I pick up my son, I'm not coming back down here to work. So that means I have to work. I have to be productive enough to feel accomplished enough to get what I need to get done. And if I don't, then I'm just going to pick it up again tomorrow, and I'll have more to do tomorrow. But once I am done, I am done. Because if you don't get the best of me, you're going to get the rest of me. And that's just not good enough for my family.
That's good. Yeah. Your family deserves the best, not the rest. I like that too.
Yeah. So listen, I hope we inspired somebody today. I hope we spoke to somebody today. And if you're out there hustling and you're out there grinding, I ain't knocking your grind. I ain't knocking your hustle. But make sure you hustle just as much for your personhood as you do for your job.
Yep, exactly. And remember to take a break. That's from Hamilton as well.
I still gotta watch that, man.
Vlad needs to watch Hamilton, y'all. Please put it in the chat if you love Hamilton.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Please do, because I need reminders everywhere. That's another tip. Put reminders everywhere. And social media too, if you need to. Listen, man, we did a lot of great things today, sis. Remember, everybody, if you like what you hear and you want to have us touch on something that you haven't heard,
let us know. Oh, and our website, Vlad.
Yes. So we have launched our website finally. You can find us at rootsandrhythmpodcast.com. It's going to be right here. That is rootsandrhythmpodcast.com. Make sure you holler at us. Go to our website. Send us some love. Hop in the inbox and tell us what you think about the podcast, because it helps us make this a better program for you guys.
So website, Instagram, YouTube, eventually TikTok, but we'll talk about it.
Put it in a chat because, again, executive functioning. Put it in the chat because somebody at your job said we need to do the TikTok
that
thing.
we need. Yeah, everyone at work last week was like, "Oh, you guys need a TikTok. That's where people go." Blah blah. So we'll see.
We'll see. we'll be on it. In the meantime, it's your boy Vlad the Bull, your #1 embrace coach,
and Angie, La Cyber Mommy.
We're out of here. See y'all.
Take care.
Stay rooted.